Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. Today, we're going to be discussing the most horrifying yet succulent meat on the internet. This is no ordinary steak, and despite its happy-go-lucky smile, it has a horrifying secret behind those dark, deceiving eyes. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Charlie the Steak and his disturbing image, not to mention his dark secret. So if that sounds good to you, grab your popcorn and a drink, and let's go ahead and dive straight into this. So for starters, Charlie's not your ordinary steak. As a matter of fact, let's just say that this meat can really take a beating. Despite his happy facial expression, it doesn't last throughout the game. He's actually laying down on his cutting board, which is soon going to be his demise. The game was originally released in 2013 by a mobile game development team called Dynamic Dust. This game, upon release, was known to be so disturbing that it literally had to be taken off of the iOS App Store. And to be honest, there was almost no trail of it ever existing, as it's like it got wiped away from the internet forever. That was until about 1 month ago, when the developers of Charlie the Steak decided to post on the Reddit page with the title, "Let's figure out what to do with the brain rot." The post read, "This hype about Charlie more than 10 years after its inception is nothing short of amazing, and I absolutely love the community that has appeared now." They explained that Dynamic Dust was a family-run studio between a son, his father, and his brother, and the app was originally taken down not due to the gore and violence, but just losing traction on the App Store. Not to mention, it needed to be updated hugely to be able to return, as it does not meet the capabilities of most phones now. So with all that being said, they put a plan in place on bringing the once beloved Charlie back to the internet, as the brain rot memes had literally pulled the Dynamic Dust company from the graveyard. And so fast forward to August 4th, that's right, Charlie the Steak was back in the iOS App Store. And even though it contained a few bugs, the game was quite interesting, as it's literally a mix between Talking Ben the dog and Kick the Buddy, with a lot more gore and torture. Upon arrival inside of the app, you'll notice a happy-go-lucky steak with his eyes bright and blue, a smile that is almost contagious in its look, and a nice fat red meat laying on that cutting board, waiting for what's next. There's also a few different options along the app, including mini games, a level switcher, and animations. The base animations include a knife, a mallet to beat that meat, a flame, and some hot sauce, each one doing something extraordinarily evil to the steak in screen. Now, unfortunately, this takes cooking and prepping meat to a whole nother level. It's almost as if you've opened up your third eye and now see it in a whole nother light. Charlie the Steak really knows how to take a beating, and you can do such things like beat him with the mallet, cut him horrifically with your knife, burn him alive, and pour hot sauce in his eye, and he will come back smiling just as if it never happened. There's also different levels to Charlie, including a raw, rare, medium, and of course the standard well done. Even your grandma is more aggressive than you are at this level. Each level contains a more horrific approach to how you treat Charlie, and that's noticeable based on the blood following each and every one of the levels. Now, what you'll notice to unlock each level, there's actually a point system that you need to have stacked up enough to unlock it. To earn these points, you have to play the mini games, and these include other ways of torturing Charlie as well. Now, I will say this is where you can start seeing some of the bugs in the game. As you open up the mini game, you'll notice you have to throw a knife as Charlie goes back and forth between the screen. And you don't have to be the most accurate sharpshooter in the world to hit Charlie. Every time you hit Charlie, you earn another point in order to unlock things from the levels. I found this to actually be quite sad, as Charlie is so excited to be going across the screen until he receives a knife in the center of his eyes. And unfortunately, this is the only way to earn points. At least for this minigame, as there's a few others, including a target practice on Charlie, as well as a race-like game kind of similar to Temple Run or Subway Surfer. Now, as you stack up enough points, you can use these points to unlock levels. Each level has a more disturbing way of torturing or preparing Charlie. Let's take Rare for example. If you click on Charlie enough, he'll spit a loogie into your eyes. And if you want to get payback, there is literally a stick of dynamite that you can put in his mouth. And the rest of them just get continuously worse, with the easiest one being the rolling pin, beating this meat into submission. Now, if you really want to take it up a notch, you can cut up Charlie with 2 sets of knives and pull out his tongue with a pair of dentist-like tongs. But that's not all, and viewer discretion be advised. You can make Charlie smile at you, and while he does it, pull out a dentist drill, drilling each and every one of his teeth in. And when you move over to the raw section of Charlie, it's almost as if you start to feel bad for this piece of meat. His facial expression doesn't help, as it's almost human-like. He looks disturbingly beat down. Green from the dry aging, he looks like he's about to cry at any minute. And this is all before you continue your torture, as it only gets worse from Charlie. And let's put it this way, even though Charlie doesn't look like he has very many teeth, he's not going to have any for much longer, as when you pull out the drill, you knock out his remaining teeth. And sadly enough, he almost smiles at you when you do it, except for he remembers the fact that he's living in a meat hell. And let's just say Charlie's teeth are only a part of the beating, as when you take the steak knife, you can stab him directly in his eye, pulling it out. And if you really want to go ahead and finish Charlie off, just give him a nice little char to serve to whoever wants him. You can flame him, burning every piece of his face. Thus the reason why you can see that this game is a lot more graphic and violent than it meets the eye. This cute little steak really takes a beating by the end of it, and thus another one of those horror games that is deceivingly evil. At first, you just think you're going to interact with a piece of meat, and at the worst, you're just going to beat it down. By the end of this, you almost feel bad for a raw piece of steak. This is a story of when lost media actually gets its way. And shout out to the developers for actually taking into consideration what their audience has to say, reviving this game and bringing back popularity across the iOS App Store and Android, as that matter of fact. Charlie the Steak has literally gained popularity all across social medias and now YouTube, as some of the biggest creators have played it on their channels. And from what I can gather, along with my own gameplay, this game is a lot of fun, and the people who play it do get some satisfaction out of beating the meat. But you can't help wonder, is this what our actual steak preparation is like? Is there another world where a poor piece of steak is taking a beat down as I roll it, flame it, and get it prepared for my family to eat? That is something I don't know if I'm going to be able to look past the next time I decide to prepare dinner. So let's just say I'm going to do my best to be as humanistic as possible towards my next ribeye. But guys, that wraps up this video here. If you enjoy Charlie the Steak or want to see more stories explained just like this, do me a huge favor. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below the next game you want me to cover on the channel. Until next time, peace out!